Hello, hello, and welcome, my Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon to new moon next in October 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, Virgo sun sign, born and raised, the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hi. Hey y'all, how you doing? My subscribers, welcome back. Thank you so much for following along. I know my Virgos love me because I love my Virgos. Virgo power. It's like a combination of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Bewitched. Virgo power. There you go. Very looking forward to seeing if I am in this one. I really feel like I was in the Leo one that I just did, the Leo Rising. So, you know, I've given up trying to separate myself out from that. The guides are going to do what the guides are going to do. I am but their humble channel. Not so humble. Yeah. Grace of humility doesn't mean you have to beg and scrape at all. It's knowing who created you. The gods did, right? So that being said, let's get down to business. Thank you, my subscribers. And if you are new to my channel, please do consider liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, because as a Virgo, I have a plan. I have goals for this, my YouTube journey. I'll be reading tarot cards for 40 years next year. I was 12 years old when I got them. I'm 52 now. So this detour from reading people face to face, as I was doing for decades. Oh, I have stories. The club scene in the 80s in Boston. Oh yeah, have I got stories to tell someday about the 80s. So doing this on YouTube has been quite the journey, right? Taking clients through Facebook Messenger and Skype and all of that, from reading face-to-face for decades. So my next goal, I know, should be like, I don't know, 2,000 subscribers or maybe 5,000 subscribers. I'm shooting for 30 so that I can do the membership thing and have my extended readings here on YouTube instead of having to do them on Vimeo. And I love Vimeo.com. They've been wonderful. And I like the on-demand stuff, and will probably always keep my account there for the larger workshops and stuff that if people want to buy them, right, they'll have access. The 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour stuff. But it would be nice to have the extended readings here, right, all in one place. And once I have membership, you pay one price per month and you have access to all of the extended readings, or is at least how I want to do it, right? So if you feel so interested, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share my shit, because I'm good at what I do. Otherwise, let's talk about this reading. This is a timed reading. It's not a timeless reading. We're looking at what we need for this full moon, or I should say from this full moon in Aries, the 1st of October. I'm actually doing this the day before, September 30th, to the new moon in Libra on Friday the 16th of October. And the thing about a new moon on a Friday in Libra is it just smacks of Venus love magic, right? It's one of the signs of Venus, right? Libra on Friday, the day of Venus. So it's real. Like, think about what you would need to wane, let go of, what you would need to heal, to let go of, to wane, W-A-N-E, in the waning side of the moon, in order to prepare you for a new love, right, of any kind, right? Don't attach it to form necessarily, at least not until this reading's done, shall we, my Virgos? You get the point. We are only doing a 7-card draw. One card from seven different systems. We've got 3 healing systems, 2 tarot systems, and 2 oracle systems. So take the clues, the tips, the hints that come. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because your sun sign's going to get very different stuff than your moon sign, one would suspect. And I think you'll dig it. I really am enjoying these reads this time around. So I just did my Leo rising. This is my Virgo sun. I have a nice, well, I guess Libra, right? I have Venus in Libra. That's next. Then I have a nice little coast until I get to my Pisces moon. So let's get up in this gig. I love you guys. Let's do this. All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom. There's some really cool links on the way down there. Other stuff that I've done on Vimeo, for example. Other than that, take a nice deep breath and let's call in the pantheons, since they're already here. Oh, and yes, you are. Oh, my beloved golden ones. Hello, 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 my pantheons. Oh, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Now, I already did my reading. I have it recorded on paper and on camera, the picture of it. So please, if I'm not in this one, that's just fine. But if you got something else you want me to see, please. We need one card in clarity, starting with the Caroline Myss archetype deck. What is the dominant archetype? The soul power being alchemized from lead to gold, shadow to light, toxic to healthy for this Virgo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for this full moon in Aries to new moon next in Libra. October 2020. Please just leave that in my hand, whether we're dealing with it within ourselves, within another person, within a situation. This one, that's the one. Feeling it in the second chakra. This should be interesting. The bully archetype. Well. Considering where we are on planet Earth right now, I am not shocked at all by this, particularly once you get the vibe here. This may well be somebody that you are dealing with in the outside world or in a situation that might be bullying you. But catch the shadow attribute. This could be big insight. Look, Virgos, we tend to keep to ourselves. We tend not to be bullies, but wait till we get to the light attribute. You'll see what I mean. The shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal and physical abuse. When someone is a bully, that's what it is. Pain, unprocessed pain, shadow pain, right? It's the shadow attribute. It's got to come out in some way. Now, I have to say, physically abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, even spiritually abusive. You can be a spiritual, of course you can be a spiritual bully. Oh, let me not count the ways right now. I would like to keep this video under 3 hours, right? So get that power is alive and well in the world. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm leaving it there. That made me cough. Stuck in my craw because I ain't saying it. Maybe I'll say it off camera. The light attribute highlights your tendency to intimidate others. People consider me intimidating. I mean, now I get it, but I didn't when I was younger. I was like, what do you mean intimidating? I'm like the sweetest person you ever want to meet. I'm like, yeah, but you look... Somebody said this to me once. I'll never forget it. I was like maybe 13, 14 years old. They said, yeah, but you just look really, really comfortable by yourself. And meanwhile, I was sitting there feeling all like left out orphan archetype that I am, right? So sometimes we don't even realize when we're intimidating people, and people will say, you're tall, you're Leo rising, right? So get that you might not see yourself that way. And here's the big part. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Now, we all have inner fears that bully us. Well, you better or else, right? It's not like, oh, I hope this works out. No. It's, well, if you don't do that, this, right? If you don't do that, this. If this doesn't happen, then this. If this person ends up being that, this. Now there, I'm not going into that on YouTube, but if this person gets to do that, that's going to happen to the world. That's in the air. Let's leave that. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So let's quickly jump to our second healing system. Definitely Caroline Myss's archetype deck is not a divinatory system. It's a healing system. I've learned so much from her in this lifetime. Blessed be Caroline Myss. MYSS.com. Sacred contracts. Defy gravity. Sacred contracts defy gravity in Anatomy of the Spirit. Let's ask the healing mantra deck by Matt Kahn. My ascended masters, please work through this deck and through me. Breathe. What is the healing mantra that we need? This Virgo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign this full moon in Aries to new moon next in Libra, right? Libra, the balance, the justice. Yeah, the love. Waning moon leading up to that. I'm down for that. What do we need? What is the perfect healing mantra for us, considering we're dealing with that bully archetype in some way, shape, or form in the world? I couldn't imagine how. Please, one card in clarity for us. Liberating love. I love you guys. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. It puts it right back in our hands. I'm going to read this one. Let me read this. liberating love. It literally puts the power right back into our own hands. I love this deck so very, very much. Liberating love. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. And there's a built-in mnemonic device there with receive and give. You just got to repeat. Mantras take memorization. They just do. They take work. When love is liberated, your heart remains open to all the gifts that life has to offer. As love is liberated from the emotional wounds of the human condition, oh gee, what does that mean? Oh, betrayal, loss of hope, depression, dark night of the soul, heartbreak, right? Sadness, loss, codependence, abuse, neglect. Yeah. To liberate that, right? It becomes easy to accept, forgive, and receive. As love is liberated from the emotional wounds of the human condition, it becomes easy to accept, forgive, and receive. Well, it would make sense, right? Because love does that naturally, but when it's got that baggage on top of it, those wounds, not so much. When such actions seem exhausting, right? It's like, I have to do what? Let's go back, right? I have to accept, forgive, and receive. What? Right? You know, like you're just exhausted. When such actions seem exhausting, it's simply a sign that your heart doesn't feel safe enough to remain open. So it's like a gauge. Ooh, that's a good Virgo way to look at it. And where's my heart at right now? Something else to analyze. When this occurs, your will's freedom, in other words, your choice, your freedom of choice to embrace each tender corner of your consciousness will allow opening up to resume. In other words, whatever arises, love that. That's the name of his first book? Yes, that's his first book. Whatever arises, love that. So even like envy and jealousy and hatred and rage, all of these emotions need to be loved and liberated without acting on them. Very inner child work based. When the heart has permission to open, your love is liberated and you can shine a light into all levels of reality to awaken the truth to all. So yeah, there's definitely pain here that's being concealed within yourself with someone else. So concealing all of that behind physical and or verbal abuse. Your love is liberated and you can shine a light into all levels of reality to awaken the truth of all. And the truth of all is we are all love. This mantra is ideal for learning how to believe in yourself, promoting self-realization, and integrating the shadow. Bam. Oh my God, that could not be clearer for a waning moon read. I embrace shadow every day, pretty much. That's what I like about Matt Kahn's work. May not be for everybody, but that idea of seeing your heart chakra, your emotional body, essentially, as the inner child and talking to it and giving it the love to liberate the love within that child underneath its pain. Oh, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, but it ain't cheesy neither. They sound it. Whatever arises, love that. Love everything. Love is who we are. Love is the truth of who we are. Even from a quantum perspective, it's the truth. What do you think's holding all these molecules together and particles of light? Vibrating particles of light that appear as form. Breathe. What do we need to be aware of inside of ourselves? Daughters of the Moon Tarot. The tarot deck I have been reading the longest of every deck I've come across. Let's find out from the goddesses what we need to be aware of or deal with on the inside, the yin side. My goddesses of earth, please. I need one card in clarity, my beloveds, for this Virgo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, this full moon in Aries to new moon next in Libra. What is it that we need to be aware of to heal, to deal with this full moon to new moon next October 2020? My goddesses, we've got the bully. So one would think the interior fears, right? Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you, but allowing ourselves to receive all the fulfillment we are willing to give to our own hearts. What do we need to do that with on the inside? Whoop. Six of Blades, manipulation, and this to me is such a card of therapy. This is self-talk. in this situation. Not talk yourself out of your fears, talk to your fears. Talk to that child inside of you that's afraid, because that's what we don't get. What the part of us that's really afraid is connected to that same terrified child that doesn't feel safe. Now look, every bully needs a victim for sure. The victim is a whole other archetypal schemata that everybody has. The child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. Survival archetypes, read sacred contracts. None of those words are necessarily what you think they mean. I love Carolyn Mays. But the Six of Blades is about a mental balance inside of ourselves, that things are balancing out, that we are healing. This can very much be a card of alchemy in terms of counseling, in terms of manipulating the mind, not manipulation like pulling other people's strings. The Six of Swords in traditional tarot, this is just a different version of it. See, there's no reversal to this card. It's the same any way you look at it. So it is about going from, I guess you could say it could be going from calm water to choppy, as much as you would want it to go from choppy, rough seas to smooth sailing, right? But that's what this feels like, sure. I'm here, okay. You know how you create reality? By the narrative you give. By the narrative you believe within your own self. That's going to have more effect on your own physiology, your blood pressure, your pulse rate, right? Cortisol levels, endorphin levels, all of that stuff is really more influenced by the stories, the thoughts that we assign to things that the mind comes up with very quickly, so that we don't spend time in the discomfort of uncertainty. Now, if you can become comfortable in uncertainty, in other words, talk to the uncertain child, what are the inner fears that bully you? Probably about uncertainty for your own safety. Financial safety, emotional safety, physical safety, national safety. See what I'm saying? It's like to take the time to go inside and be that Virgo part of you that heals, right? We are the one, well, every sign can heal, but Virgo's 6th house is healing and occupation. Not occupation, what you do for a living. What are you occupied with? What are you occupied with? It's having an effect on you biologically, biochemically, right? So if you keep freaking yourself out mentally, not to say ignore the news, ignore what's going on around you. No. But you get to choose that, right? So it's by allowing that child in our hearts to feel what it feels, to liberate it, so that it feels what it feels and it moves through us. Because the empathic piece on this is probably huge. If you're an empath on top of it, what you're feeling is 2%. The rest of it, humanity. Or maybe just the people around you, depending on scope of empathic field. Well, what do we need to be aware of outside of ourselves? I'm terrified to see what this card, if it's the Emperor, I'm gonna shit my pants. Nice deep breath, please. Oh my gods. Dionysus in particular, my dad. Yes, Zeus is the all-father, but Dionysus is my dad, my spiritual dad. From you I come, and to you may I return. Please, my gods. One card in clarity for the Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. This full moon in Aries to new moon next in Libra. What do we need to be aware of outside of ourselves, in the yang? Maybe in our appearance, in the physical body, which technically is outside of who we are. With that card of the bully. Who's bullying us? What's bullying us? In terms of liberating the love, right? That's triggering that, giving us the opportunity to receive all the fulfillment we are willing to give, and doing that internal work with that manipulating of the mind, working with that mantra, for example. What do we need to be aware of outside of ourselves as Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? This full moon to new moon next October 2020, Ace of Swords. So new communication comes in, new idea, new thought, new perspective comes in. Now, the quality of what this is and the subject matter of what this is going to vary, right? Because for some of us, it might be financial. For some of it, it might be about a relationship, but it's a seed. What do you do with a seed, right? You plant it and you tend it, or if it's the seed of what you don't want, you crush it into a million bits and set it on fire and scatter it to the winds, right? So, you know, what is this? That's going to play itself out differently, but is it a piece of news that triggers you? What is the story you're going to tell? Now, look, you can try and rewrite your stories. I don't think this is what this is saying necessarily. I think what that Six of Blades with the Six of Blades on the inner, Ace of Blades on the outer, is that whatever this communication is, this new thought, this new download, it is Athena, right? A sky goddess of wisdom, right? Not an earth or a water goddess, an air goddess, a sky goddess. It can be insight. It can be a piece of information, a piece of they're giving me Virgo data that hits the table that then goes to work, goes to work, goes to work. But what's the nature of this? Is it being done in truth or illusion, fear or love, lead or gold? Are you bullying yourself, or will this highlight how you are intimidating the crap out of yourself, or maybe even others? And are you letting yourself be intimidated when you are an eternal being, birthless, sinless, deathless, innocent, divine child, as are we all? You know, it's not just us, it's everybody. All right, very, very interesting, very airy, very analytical. That could be a a slippery slope, a sticky wicket. Let's ask the Ascended Masters, who gave us that card of Liberating Love through half of the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, the suit of the problem. The other three suits are back on the table. Luck, healing, and grace. I want to see what the problem is. Don't you? Take a nice deep breath. Oh yeah, my Ascended Masters, I'm feeling you nice and strong here. We've got love and fear on the table here, quite literally, with the bully and the liberating love here. But inner and outer, it's a lot of air. So please, it's a lot of thought. Please, one card in clarity for the Virgo Collective: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This full moon in Aries to new moon next in Libra. What do we need to be aware of in terms of the problem? What is the problem we need to be aware of within ourselves, within another? Is there a holographic unity thing going on here? What is it we most need to be aware of in terms of the problem? This full moon to new moon next October 2020. Oh, fuck my pussy with a rake, mom. Deception. Deception is the problem. So, is this piece of information that comes in truth or illusion? Fear or love? What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? Now, I will say, in this particular deck, of course, it's the love pack, so it's depicting it as a man who's offering flowers with a padlock, a chain ready to chain her up, right? Yikes. The bondage of codependency or you know, whatever, control. Like, here's your freedom while I control you, right? Not great. I can feel the bullying nature of this. I can feel, God, I can feel this in the collective so thick, it's like tar emotionally, right? It's not the element of water. It's liquid, kind of, sort of. It's more like a plasma, I guess, tar. It's thick. This is thick stuff. Now, I'm going to say, if you're an empath, this is part of the problem. We are not seeing clearly, or we are outright being deceptive or being deceived. Now, I can't get away with that shit anymore. As you go higher in consciousness, higher in vibration, you know, it's something Abraham Hicks used to say. It's like when you're driving a car at 5 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's not a big deal. When you're driving a car at 100 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's a really big deal, usually fatal, one would think, right? So, to really get, if you're in the process of deceiving others, again, conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. See, I get that that's more about somebody else. It's just, what are you doing with your own psychology as a result of this person? Now, I'm going to say this might not be somebody in your direct life. This might be somebody that you know about but have not ever been in the same square footage of ever. Just gotta leave that there for that. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And look, it's gonna come down to the Virgos looking at what am I occupying myself with? What am I focusing on the outer? What am I taking the seed and just spinning and spinning and spinning? How am I letting myself be manipulated in my own mind, right? What can I do to liberate the love within myself, right? I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. This is about giving yourself and that heart that is terrified within you, that sweet heart of yours, the love that it needs to feel afraid. Yeah, it's not about, oh no, don't lower your vibration. We won't get what we want on our vision board. Well, which one of you put 2020 this way on your vision board? Because I have to have a strong talking with you. Of course not. It doesn't work like that. That's superstitious. If I feel bad things will happen. Except good and bad. My guides said to me at the end of the day, curses or blessings, it's all the same to the gods and the archangels, because how many curses have ended up as blessings and how many blessings have ended up as curses? It's all about how the game is played, the story that you tell yourself. So look at where you are deceiving yourself. Where are you not confronting the inner fears that bully you? At least that, like I said, puts it all back in your power, not somebody else's. All right, the next card down, my darlings. We only have 2 left, and these might be extremely helpful because they're oracular in nature, or oracle systems. We've got the Whisper of Love. What is the voice of the higher selves of all involved? Can you imagine the collective higher self of all the Virgos incarnate? That's some coffee clutch. Breathe. Oh, that's so nice. That feeling, that it's okay, sweetheart. It really was that it's okay, sweetheart. Because I can feel that deception and that fear. It is thick like tar. So please, ascended masters of all concerned, ascended masters, higher selves of all concerned, my own possibly included here. Please, 1 card in clarity for the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for this full moon in Aries to new moon in Libra, October 2020. What is the piece of information, inspiration, or insight that we need this full moon to new moon next? Now, before I turn this over, they gave me another scenario that this is going through. This absolutely could be about a relationship that you're bullying yourself about, and there's been some deception in play here because someone's not being honest about how they feel, so there's a lot of spinning in the head about this on both sides. Your Whisper of Love. Love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. The love that you will be liberating from inside of yourself. It's all around you and within you. Remember, I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. Are you willing to give love in this situation, at least mentally? I bless and release this with love. May all lies and illusions, deceptions and delusions be transformed through the liberation of love. So mote it be. That almost made me burp. Love is all around. No need to waste it. You can take the town. Why don't you take it? You're going to make it after all. I want to make it after all. Don't you want to make it after all? There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is truth. And maybe that's what this is about. Start with that mantra, right? I'm willing to receive all the fulfillment I am willing to give, right? Because it's all around. Now, I know that's a little vague. That's a little, I don't know, mayo on white bread, so to speak. Love is all around, but there's an ability here to really tap into that, and maybe things are not as they appear to be. It's another way to look at this card, not, preempting the other things that were said there, but that maybe things are not as they appear to be. And it would also say in a relationship that there is love in this relationship, depending on who this is. There's a lot of different quantum threads on this one, it seems. Oh, it makes sense. Virgo, so detail-oriented. So let's get our last card down here. Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue, right? Let's see what is the healing angel we need to call upon, and then I'll pop up the picture and we'll see how this all fits together. Nice deep breath. My angels and archangels, please. One card in clarity. For the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, this full moon in Aries to new moon next in Libra, October 2020. What is the angel, the healing angels that we need to work with, that we need to call upon this full moon to new moon next, considering we're dealing with the bully within ourselves, within another, within a situation, and we need to liberate love, allowing ourselves to receive all the fulfillment we're willing to give to ourselves and maybe even to others here, right? Dealing with the Six of Blades on the inner, coming into some sort of inner balance through manipulation. Could very much be a mental, emotional healing going on there. With the Ace of Swords, could be stimulated or attracting or simultaneously concurring with a new piece of information coming in. Ace of Blades can so often be communication out of the blue that starts a new cycle that feels like we're prepared for here, but there is a deception in play here if this is relationship based with somebody else, or there's something we are not confronting within ourselves, or we're fronting to others in some way, but that love is all around us from the higher selves. Love is everywhere all the time. Just simply acknowledge this. We're being told what to do here. Simply acknowledge this is truth. There's love all around. Okay. So what is the healing angel we most need to call upon, please, this full moon to new moon next with all of this? Answered prayer. Answered prayer, which means you've already put the prayer out there, and look, we pray all the time, we don't even realize it. We don't even realize, oh dear God, help me, right? It's a prayer. It's called colloquial prayer. Greg Braden just popped into mind. What is that? 5 modalities of prayer. Check him out. G-R-E-G-G Braden, Hay House author. From the Dead Sea Scrolls. This answered prayer, this is something that you've been working on, and I know I was kind of had my toes, my both feet dangling in the collective tar of things more national and global going on here. But I'm getting that this is also a very personal world too, that there are fears that are bullying you about some communication coming in involving love and your own personal fulfillment, that there is a deception in play. Like, I get the interpersonal part of this. This could very much be for somebody a relationship that they're in, that somebody's not telling the truth, or someone's not saying how they really feel. That the problem is there's a deception. It could be that both people really love each other. Love is all around. That everyone involved here, there is love here in some way, shape, or form. Maybe romantic, sexual, maybe not. Maybe familial. But there's so much fear going on within each person here that it feels like the only way through is to call upon the angel of answered prayer. Now, what would the angel of answered prayer do? Answer your prayer? Well, what if every prayer is answered as they say it is, just not in the way we expect it to? It would help prepare you for that. It would help you see things differently. It would help you receive all the fulfillment that you are willing to forgive, acknowledging that love is all around you, and that actually everybody involved in this situation loves each other very, very much, but aren't sharing that there is a deception in play here that you can't see through just yet. Let's pop up the picture. I think I just did that, but let's do it again anyway. Nice deep breath. Magic clap. Again, the bully archetype in its shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. The light attributes highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you, and that light archetype is what you're really shooting for here, even if you're dealing with a bully, right? Even if you are not the bully in this situation, really look at what fears are they preying upon within you, and allow yourself to receive all the fulfillment you're willing to give, which means really talk to those fears, right? Give yourself the time, the space, the self-care, the breath, the rest, right? To be as you are, to allow these feelings to be loved without them running the show. Otherwise, when you're bullied, you can cower in a corner and never leave, right? Even if you go about the world. There are some people who are so I mean, the opposite, if you don't want to say the opposite of the bully, but the counterpart of the bully is the coward, right? Where are you cowering in a corner? Not what are you afraid of, but to address that part of you that is afraid. Perhaps your innocence has been deceived before. Perhaps you have been lied to, or maybe you've done some lying and some deception. I mean, really, ultimately, who doesn't in this world sooner or later? Well, the Dalai Lama, I'm sure, probably has a clean record. But that would make sense with that Six of Blades, that there is some inner work going on here, some inner, and I do feel psychological balancing, right? So I'm definitely using the mind to think through things, to bring things from choppy water to smooth, from the bully into a place of more love and self-fulfillment. But there is also this Ace of Swords on the outer here that's talking about a new communication, whether it's coming to you or from you. That's going to play itself out differently here. But there has been a deception here in play that I feel like if you were not aware of, you are aware of now. Keep your eye out. How do you keep your eye out for a deception? It doesn't mean question everything necessarily, but as you are going through the Six of Blades, internally, you might see where there have been fears inside of you that just simply are not true, because love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is truth, that you are loved and you are loving. And really, whoever is involved in this, again, if we could take it out of the national, global, geopolitical schemata for a hot second, to really look at this as I have been deceiving myself, bullying myself about what someone else might be thinking or doing or having or experiencing, where I need to take this power back within myself. And that's the preparation necessary for your prayer to be answered. Now, what your prayer is, of course, only you know that. Even if you don't know that, that is deep within you somewhere. What is it that you truly want? What is your heart's desire here? What is it that really this journey is about for you in terms of this waning moon or the larger picture of your life moving forward? Because your prayer is going to be answered, but are you willing to do what is necessary to receive all the fulfillment you're willing to give to yourself, to others, acknowledging that love is all around you, but that there are fears within you, fears of deception, that you are being lied to, or that your own deceptions are going to burst wide open, and that child within you needs all the love, all the care, all the time that it needs to confront these inner fears, to be freed from them as love is liberated. Damn, they do go on at the end, don't they? They just grab hold of me and use my crown chakra like open mic night. There you go, Virgo. That does make a lot of sense to me in terms of the interior stuff. So though I'm not seeing a lot of external here, except for this Ace of Swords, you kind of know what to do. So may the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that we need to confront our inner fears, allowing ourselves to receive all the fulfillment we're willing to give ourselves and others, regardless of how we have been deceived before, as we are healed of that deception through this internal manipulation and external idea or communication that comes, understanding that love is all around us. We just need to allow ourselves to receive it as we are willing to give it in an answer to our prayer for our well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. And that, my friends, is the grace of prayer right there, what I just did. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Help me get to 30 grand if you haven't contributed yet, because I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm willing to receive that fulfillment that I can't really give to myself in terms of subscription numbers, but I'm willing to give the best that I got as I go, Virgo, that I am. Right? Thank you so much. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of it all, my Virgo brothers and sisters. Virgo power, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.